Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, and today I will be doing nothing new and inventive. I will be reading some very popular romances with illustrated covers. I don't read a lot of traditionally published books, and I wanted to give some really popular ones a shot and just put my opinion out there because, you know, it's needed. So the first book that I will be reading for this video is Hook, Line, and Sinker. This is the second book in the Ballinger Sisters series. I have read the first one. I really liked it. It's not my favorite Tessa Bailey, but I still enjoyed it. And this one is about Piper's sister from the first one, Hannah, and Fox, and I'm interested to dive in. It's gotten varying reviews, mixed reviews. Let's see how I feel about it. I am a little over 25% of the way through Hook, Line, and Sinker, and I'm very much enjoying this so far. It's only 90 pages, but it's a pretty short book. I like Tessa Bailey. I read the entirety of her Hot and Hammered series, and I enjoyed them. And the first book in this series I enjoyed. I thought their relationship was cute, but overall it wasn't my favorite. Hannah is Piper's sister, younger sister, and they both were raised in Hollywood. They lived in Westport, this small fishing town. First couple of years of Hannah's life, her father passes away. Her mother moves to LA and meets their stepfather. Piper is very much the main character, that's what she calls her, and Hannah views herself as like the supporting character, the supporting role. She ends up, when Piper gets sent off to Westport in the first book, she goes with her. She meets Fox. Fox is this playboy who is attractive and he, you know, sleeps around, that kind of stereotype, but they strike up a friendship over music and they start texting each other. And then in the beginning of this book, she convinces the director that she works for and has a crush on that the best place to film their his short film is in Westport. So at the point that I am at, they have been there for a couple of days. Hannah is staying with Fox because she can't stay with Piper. We've had a couple points of view from Fox so far where we get the impression that he has been shamed a lot for his looks, and there is even there's a quote that I wanted to read. Hannah was the furthest thing from temporary and Fox only did short term. That personal rule kept him from getting his hopes up, from thinking he could be one half of a relationship again. Women didn't bring Fox home to meet their parents. He was more of a side piece type. He'd been told his whole life that he'd turn out exactly like his father, and he'd confirmed a long time ago that he shared more than a pretty face with the man. He was perfect for making Hannah's director envious. Yeah, a ruse was all this could be, a friend helping a friend. That's kind of how we were introduced to Fox, this idea that he is a player, but he is begrudgingly a player. Certainly he's put himself in this situation where he's sleeping around, just even though it's been alluded to the fact that he hasn't really slept with anyone for a while, and I'm assuming it's in relation to his relationship with Hannah. It's an interesting play on the player stereotype, in exploring the idea of what this stereotype does to you mentally, what it does to your self-esteem and your worth. I definitely am enjoying seeing that side of the player. Hannah very much has this I'm not good enough, I'm always the supporting role, I'm never the main character, I'm just always there to help people, and I'm really enjoying their friendship. They definitely have this mutual attraction towards each other. Hannah is trying to act like it's not, like it's just friendly, but she's gotten jealous. They share a kiss at a party because he walks into the room and she hears the women talking about him in a very degrading way, and she can tell that it's affecting him, and so she walks up to him and she kisses him as more of a you're good enough, because he makes a comment to her about we shouldn't pretend to fake date to make your director jealous, because I don't want to sully your reputation, because everybody thinks that I'm just this player and I don't want your name associated with my name in that way. She sees this this interaction at this party with these women really affecting him, and so she goes up to him and she kisses him, and it's this moment where he's he thinks that this possibly could have been just on Hannah's end, not an attempt to make the director jealous, and then he talks himself out of it. And Hannah is not even thinking about the director, she's thinking about how to make Fox feel worthy. I'm not understanding the complaints so far, but like I said, I'm not that far in. I will update you at the halfway mark. We will see how I am feeling, and then we'll see. So I am halfway through Hook, Line, and Sinker, and I'm enjoying it as much as I did the first time. I don't know if I'm 100% believing their like sexual chemistry. I definitely recognize that Fox is like hot, but I don't know if I necessarily believe them romantically. We've gotten a little bit more exploration into Fox's past, why he feels the way he feels, why he is so defensive, and why he uses sex as a defense mechanism. And Hannah was very supportive of him. She has done at every turn a good job, or tried to do a good job of making sure that Fox understands that his role in her life is more than sex, and they're friends, and she values him as a person and his opinion, and Fox has done a good job of making her feel like she is not just the supporting character. I keep saying that because that's the phrase that she uses a lot. So I understand their friendship for sure, and I understand where they're coming as characters separately. I'm interested to see where it goes as far as their like romantic relationship. I'm confident in their ability, or Tessa Bailey's ability, to convince me of their romantic relationship. So I will update you when I am finished with my thoughts. At this point, it's like a solid 4-star. I'm enjoying it as much as I enjoyed It Happened One Summer. I will say It Happened One Summer is more tension-filled sexually, and it's more fun. This one feels more melancholy, more emotional, more of an exploration of the characters themselves, not really like this town or anything like that. It's definitely a lot of like, what do characters want from their life? How do they want to go going forward? How are they going to overcome the barriers that are in their way? Definitely the first one's more fun. I can see why people who are reading this as like a fun rom-com series would not have as much fun with this one. That's kind of the vibe that I got from Hot and Hammered. Like, the first one is fun. It's about two people who were childhood friends, or it was like a brother's best friend situation, and they like fake date and stuff like that. But the second one is deeply, deeply emotional. It is a marriage in trouble. It is about them working through their individual issues and their relationship issues together, and it's way more emotional than Fixer Up. I tend to enjoy more emotional, less rom-com-y stories. So I finished Hook, Line, and Sinker. I loved this so much. I loved it way more than the first one. I gave the first one 4 stars. I gave this one 4 stars too. This could have been a 5-star, but there was a little bit of annoyance with the conflict. Like, the conflict made sense with who the characters were, but as the conflict was happening, or when the conflict was starting, I thought we were going to subvert the stereotypical trope of the third act breakup, and we didn't, which was kind of a disappointment for me. While I feel like it fit the characters and it made sense, it's just kind of a pet peeve of mine. But this is so good. I liked it so much, and honestly, it might be one of those books that I reread and I enjoy the second time around. Like, this is definitely so good. I loved Fox. I loved Hannah. I think they worked so well together. Like, they just understood each other on like a soul deep level, and that sounds so lame to say, but this is one of those couples that, because they were friends, they just understood each other, and they had that like history of recognizing when the other person was feeling some type of way, and it just be hard pressed for the other books in this video to beat this. But this was so good, and I'm so excited to read what Tessa Bailey comes out with next. And I'm So let's go on to the next books for this video. Hi friends. Okay, so I was just at the library picking up another pick for this video, but I thought I would talk to you about The Love Hypothesis because I am 152 pages in, and this is easily one of the most like mediocre hyped romances that I've read. This is about Olive and Adam. This is supposed to be Reylo fanfiction. Honestly, I don't know enough about them to really like say how my feelings on that. Adam is a tenured professor and Olive is a PhD student. In the beginning of the book, her friend has expressed interest in a guy that she had previously gone on a date with, and in an attempt to convince her friend that Olive is not interested in that guy, starts up this fake relationship with Adam, which starts with her basically kissing him randomly one night to convince her friend that they're together. And so they start up this fake dating relationship to appease her friend and to help her with her like reputation, because the people kind of push her around, and because Adam is such a grump and he's known for being not very nice, they kind of give her a pass, or they don't mess with her because she's now dating Adam, and Adam is attempting to secure some funding for several of his projects or his experiments or whatever. So he needs to prove to the university that he is not a flight risk, that he's intending to stay at the college, and he thinks that fake dating Olive will give him that opportunity. And like I said, this is just very like mediocre. There's no substance so far, and there's really no conversations between the two of them. There's no in-depth conversations. Like, we've had talks about how her mother died of pancreatic cancer, but other than that, we haven't really gone too in-depth. And I can already see where this is going. Like, the big reveal for this is going to be that he had a thing for her ever since their initial interaction, where she didn't even know who he was, and so he's always kind of pined for her. I'm not like in love with their relationship, and I don't know what it would take for me to get there. I think probably just more character work. So I still have a good little chunk to go. Hopefully I will change my mind, but that's sort of where we are at with this one. So when people said that he fits her entire boob in his mouth, I thought people were exaggerating, but I'm here to tell you that they're not. The possibility of that aside, I finished The Love Hypothesis and I ended up giving this 3 stars. This is cute. Like, this is a cute trope-filled story. I think if you, as I'm sure many of us did, got into the romance genre primarily through fan fiction, you will enjoy the story. I love that this book has gotten so many readers into reading romance and loving romance, but this is not a story that is gonna stick with me. It's cute. It has like the having to run rub sunscreen on each other, having to share a hotel room. Like, it has all of the fun. It's not anything like crazy good. It's not something that I will remember. It is not the best that I have ever read. So I'm happy that I've read it. Went in with pretty low expectations, and I'm still kind of a little bit disappointed because I was hoping that I would love this one, but as sort of expected, it was just a 3-star for me. So I can understand why people love this. I'm happy that this book exists. I'm happy that this author has gotten the notoriety that she has gotten, and that, again, this has pulled so many people into reading romance. It's just not for me. Okay, so I am halfway through People We Meet on Vacation, and this is an odd reading experience because I'm not liking it. I'm liking it. I would hazard to say that could be loving it, but there's just something missing, and I don't quite know like how to put into words what I feel like is missing. So this is about Poppy and Alex, and they met when they were in college, and every year since then they have gone on vacation together. And in present day, we see Poppy taking a vacation from her work, which is like a travel magazine. In the beginning of the book, she convinces Alex to go on this vacation with her, and we know that they had a falling out 2 years ago, and they have not had a vacation together since. but we don't know why. And so we're getting alternate timelines between the past summers, starting from the first one leading to the final one before this one. And then obviously the present, when they're staying at this this hotel and they are going to his brother's wedding. I'm enjoying it. Like, it's making me smile and it's making me enjoy their relationship, and like I feel the angst in present day and I feel it in the past, where they're going on these trips together and they're able to be authentically themselves, and they get each other 100%, and they're the best of friends. The relationship that everybody always imagines having with someone as their best friend, the way that someone can just know you on like a soul level as a best friend, that's how their relationship feels. And I'm starting to get a romantic element, and I can feel the angst in the present day, but there just feels like there's something missing, and I think it's because there's not a whole lot going on in the present. And this is the issue that I have with a lot of second chance romances, is that all of the book, or a majority of the book, is spent developing their relationship in the past without showing us why they would work in the present and how they would overcome the issues that separated them to begin with, if it was internal conflict that separated them. And so they are on this vacation together that is a week-long vacation, and they're staying at this really crappy motel or Airbnb, and there's like a caretaking scene, and so they are not having the best time. Like, things just are not going right for them. It's just it's odd, and I don't quite know how to explain, or I don't quite know what I need to make this better, and hopefully in this latter half it will get better. At this point it's like a 3.5, 4 stars. I don't tend to do half stars, but it's as close to a 4 star as you can get without being a 4 star. So it's not perfect, and I can't quite figure out what's missing, but there definitely is something missing. So I will come back to you when I am done, and hopefully hopefully I have some more succinct and comprehensible opinions to explain how I'm feeling. So I have finished People We Meet on Vacation, and I gave this 4 stars. I will admit, the ending, the groveling, the like the moment when they have their final talk about their feelings after the conflict did make me emotional. Just some of the emotional issues that the hero has based on his past did get me emotional, and the feelings that he was expressing. But I never found that like puzzle piece that I felt like I was missing, and I don't quite know what it was, and I don't know how to like phrase it to you, because I think this was everything that I wanted Beach Read to be, but it wasn't quite good enough. I believed that they were meant to be for each other, but it just wasn't enough, I guess. Like, I think I would have liked them to show me more in the way of like them actually working as a couple. This is good. This is a 4 star. If you are interested in picking up Emily Henry, she has great writing. She writes fantastic banter between characters, and I think if you are looking for a romance, this is probably the best recommendation of all of her books. I have read Beach Read. I did not like it at all. I think I gave it 2 stars, and then I have heard that her newest one is literary fiction or women's fiction. So if you are looking for a romance and you want to give this a try, I definitely think it is worth it. It is worth the praise that it gets. I think it's fantastic, and I think their relationship is very, very cute. The angst is very well done, and I believe the end reveal where, you know, they've always had feelings for each other. A believable moment where they reveal those feelings to each other. So overall, yes, this is well worth it. And I think even if you only read indie romance, even though this is missing some of the staples of indie romance that makes indie romance great, you will enjoy this still. Hi friends, so I had fully intended to set up my whole reading spot, my whole camera with my tripod and all that to talk about the Spanish love deception, but honestly, I'm DNFing this. Like, it's not worth the effort of all of that. I'm DNFing it at 102 pages, which is almost 25%. The exposition in this is absolutely awful. Like, we will have one piece of dialogue and 10 paragraphs of exposition and then another piece of dialogue, and it's just exhausting to read. And Lena herself is so irritating. Like, let me give you an example of, so this right here is a piece of dialogue right there. All that, and that is a dialogue heavy page. There are times when there is one sentence of dialogue in the whole thing, like that whole page, and one piece of dialogue. I cannot read that. I can't do it. I'm not equipped to read this. I need more. This is exhausting to read. I can usually read between 150 to 180 pages of a romance in an hour. It took me 2 hours to read 100 pages. It was exhausting, and I just don't really have any interest in continuing. So that is the last book that I wanted to read for the video. So not a success. We had some successes, some great losses, but let's get into my ranking and my overall thoughts of the books that I read in the video. So in summation, this is how my wrap up looks. So obviously I DNF'd the Spanish Love Deception. I gave the Love Hypothesis 3 stars, and then I gave People We Meet on Vacation and Hook, Line, and Sinker 4 stars. So I definitely think that the latter two are worth the hype, quote unquote. I really, really liked Hook, Line, and Sinker. I think the more I think about it, the more it's becoming like a 5-star for me. I just think overall it's a fantastic romance, and I think People We Meet on Vacation did achieve the angsty goal that it was set out to do. As far as the Love Hypothesis, I think if you are a fan of very trope-heavy books, you will enjoy it. It's just fun. And then, of course, we know I did not enjoy the Spanish Love Deception for the various reasons that I already stated. So that is the end of this video. Make sure you comment down below your thoughts on any of the books that I read in the video. I would love to hear it. Other than that, if you don't have anything to say, leave any sort of heart down in the comments, and I will catch you guys in my next one. Thanks so much for watching.